back to AA Podcast. I hope you are having a great day. I'm Aina.
And I'm Arisha, your host for today's podcast.
Grab a drink.
Put your headphones and let's start our journey today to talk about more of folklore stories all around the world.
But before we jump into our topic, I heard that you celebrate your birthday 2 days ago. Happy belated birthday. How was it?
Thank you. So I celebrate my birthday yesterday with my friends. We went to the beach and they also gave me cakes and also flowers. I think it was one of the best birthday celebration that I've ever had. But enough of my birthday talk. Apa tu sound screen dulu? Apa? Dah sound screen dulu.
Sekejap. Sounds great. OMG, that doesn't sound real.
Right? Okay, but before that, let's thank our sponsor for today's podcast. We have Stanley.
Alif Shukri and Sign Language.
Okay, today.
Malaysian Sign Language.
Oh, Sign Language Association.
Tak apalah.
Okay.
So we're going to talk more about our story for today with our special guest that we have invited all the way from Singapore to come here and talk about our folklore story today.
Let's welcome our guest back. He is a history influencer from Singapore who shares fascinating insights about history and culture. We're excited to have him with us today.
So thank you so much, Aina and Alisha, for having me all the way from Singapore. Hello everyone. My name is Bat. Probably I am known for my videos about history in Malay, about Malay folklore, history behind Singapore, Temasek, or Tanah Melayu itself. So today I am grateful to be invited by these two great hosts, which their podcast has been famous recently. So what are we discussing about today?
Yes, today we're going to discuss about, since you're from Singapore, right? So it has been requested by many of our listeners to talk about the Singapore Dilanggar Todak story. Have you heard about that?
Oh yes, it's been it's kind of a national story where it has geopolitical or geographical locations, geographical histories behind the story that can be related to Singapore nowadays. Yes, Singapura Dilanggar Todak is a story that is found in Surah Al-Salatin, a historical literature or historical book that is compiled, contain a lot of history behind Malacca Sultanate, Temasek histories, history behind Hindu Buddha and Islam, or I would say the arrival of Islam to Tanah Melayu. Yes, it is a very familiar story to us, and I hope the viewer has already read the story before we discuss it any further lah. Okay. So, what do you have? What are the concerns or any questions about Singapore Dilanggar Todak?
Okay, what happened that caused trouble in the kingdom?
I see. So, Singapore Dilanggar Todak is about. Well, some of you might be confused. It was Temasek before, but it is known as Singapore Dilanggar Todak. Okay. Back then, during 14th century, Temasek is also part of Tanah Melayu lah, but it has their own kingdom, Pulau Singapura or Pulau Temasek. At Pulau Temasek, the kingdom or the ruler is transitioning from Hindu Buddha leadership or influences into a more Muslim friendly or Islam friendly or Islam influenced leadership. Therefore, the main characters here are Raja Paduka Singh Maharaja, Tun Chana Katif, Hang Nadim, and Pare Bangsa. The story I would say to make it simple and not lengthy, the story begins with one day in the kingdom, Maharaja or Raja Paduka Singh Maharaja found Tun Janakati and his wife, Permaisuri, are spending time together. And Tun Janakati is a religious guy. I would say he holds the same as the same role as Ustaz nowadays. Okay, he's an Ustaz. He preaches religion about Islam and everything. So Tun Janakati somehow maybe was just hanging out with Permaisuri, and this has instilled jealousy within Raja Paduka Singh Maharaja. So out of jealousy, just because he split, or say back then they call it belah buah pinang, and perhaps that action from Tun Janakati makes the Permaisuri laugh a bit, or she looked happier. She looked happy. She was delighted by the action. The king himself, Raja Paduka Singh Maharaja, felt jealous and instructs the soldiers or the guards to stab Tun Janakati until death. So he was murdered. He was murdered by Raja Paduka Singh Maharaja. Later on, Tun Janakati said, before his final words are, if his blood spilled on this land, soon there will be karma upon this.
Oh, that. Oh, I see. So, for me, as I grew up, I only know like about the story of the boy that come with the solution, not like the bad, like the deep story behind it. So, for the boy who come with the solution, can you explain more about that?
Oh yeah, sure. So after Tun Janakati was murdered, there's a boy. As you all know, the title itself is Singapura Dilanggar Todak lah. Singapore was attacked by the swordfishes. So swordfishes come by the seaside and attack the villages. And to show how not smart, how low intellect the king was back then, he instructed the soldiers with a strategy called berbetiskan betis, for the soldiers to shove their leg by the seaside, and for the fish to attack them, for the fish to strap their long pointy nose onto their legs, which is a stupid idea. It will only cost them harm. And later on, after a while, many soldiers has fallen because it is a very not smart idea. You will only hurt your fellow soldiers, isn't it? Then a boy, a very genius boy, called Hang Najib, come around with the palace and suggested, why are we using our soldiers' leg? Instead, why don't we use batang pisang? Why don't we use banana stems or banana branches? It is safer, and as soon as the swordfish start their nose onto the batang pisang, only then we kill them. And the king took the advice. And after a while, they managed to kill all these swordfishes. Yeah, so like so the problem has been solved. However, the ending is quite sudden.
But I have a question. That's the boy. Does he get rewarded because of what he did, like giving the ideas to Peter?
Unfortunately, the boy is not rewarded. It's a sad story because the ending, para pengusaha, the advisors, bendahara, temenggung, everything, the prime ministers, the ministers felt like the boy can cause a threat for them in the future, because the boy is smart. As soon as when he grew up, he might have the chance to overtake the kingdom because he's a smart person. they influence the king who instruct so that the boy is murdered. So they took the boy, they lied to the boy, they took the boy to the middle of the sea, tied him up to a very huge rock, and throw him into the bottom of the sea. So the boy was drowned, and yeah, that's the ending to the story. There's a lot of things that we could take from it.
That sounds so unfair and heartbreaking. And now let's move on to the themes. In your opinion, what is one of the major themes that found in this story?
I would say things are the injustice that is quite known among rulers upon the citizens, and how I would say the brain drain has been one of the main things. It means the ruler was too was too immersed by how huge their power is, about by the amount of power that he has, where he refused to take advices or to allow himself to be in a position of asking help, or I would say to be in a position to be helped. I would say ego. The thing here is ego and foolishness of previous rulers.
It could also be jealousy, maybe
Yeah.
from people around him. Maybe like the soldier, they thought that if the young boy, if he is known well for his cleverness, then maybe like one day he will take their position in the kingdom. Like for example, like the highest position of the soldier, maybe. So like they they influence the king to do so to the young boy, and then the king is
Yeah. It's true.
being influenced by their advices.
That's right. So like, it shows that it has been a main problem since back then. When the people in the higher position realizes that the later generation or younger generation is smarter, they took immediate action to make sure they didn't get or they didn't reach the potential they had.
Do you think this story is still relevant, related to our current issues right now?
Yes, it is very relevant. To me, it is very relevant. Okay, for us, back in Singapore, we don't really have Sultan anymore. Okay, we proceeded with having a president. It means that we are a republic led by a president, voted by the most voted party lah. Okay, this is not me questioning Malaysia's position by retaining I would say the royals, like the Sultan and everything, the Sultanate, Sultanah. Alright. But it is shown through historical events where Sultan or the Sultan, the Sultan's decision hasn't always been smart. Look at how the Sultan decided to give British some parts of their lands back then. Look at how the Sultan allows other parts of other states to be, be colonized or to be taken over. You can see, and I'm not saying that having a Sultan or having a king is not good. But sometimes when you give this kind of unconditional power, they might abuse it. For example, okay, let's take it here. There were cases where Sultan committed a crime and it is not being questioned by the public. Or like where they were protected by these such rules. Okay, this is what Singapura Dilanggar Todak about. They're trying to teach us that having unconditional power can lead us to foolishness. Okay, foolishness. There are also a form of Machiavellian, or what would I say? In Malay, we call it matlamat menghalalkan cara, where they allow such bad intent like murder to occur in the kingdom. They murder to Tengah-Tatip out of jealousy. Why wouldn't they investigate first? They murdered the boy because they're afraid the boy might overtake them. This is the problem with nowadays. Big bosses in big companies see such a potential among young managers or like interns. However, they limit their growth so that they can stay in the position longer. No wonder you see the bosses nowadays getting older, but they haven't changed position. This is what I mean by that. Singapura Dilanggar Todak is relative.
Yes, I agree with Mike's opinion. And so we're almost at the end of the podcast. I would like to ask about your point of view on what do you think the moral values that we can get from this story.
Oh, okay. So, as for the moral values, we could learn a thing or two lah from the podcast. Okay, from the podcast pula, from the
Singapura,
from the folklore. Sorry. So like we can learn a thing or two where first we shouldn't let emotions get over our rationality. Okay? If we do things out of jealousy or we let the emotions get the best of us, well, be prepared for the bad consequences. You can see, despite there is some Islam influences, but there's a karma. You can see that after they murdered Tun Jana Kadip, Singapura got karma. They were attacked by the swordfishes, by the Todak lah. Kan? So, can see lah, this is the bad things. Okay, another one would be the talent suppression. We should take that whenever there's a potential in the later generations or in younger people, we as elders, instead of suppressing their talent just because we are afraid that they might surpass us, we help them flourish. We cultivate them. We adore. We also invest in them. We encourage them more. We shouldn't be suppressing them like what happened to Hana did. That's why what I mean. This is what I mean by talent suppression. We should learn from it. And maybe, for example, like the government should encourage some talent seeking whenever there's a kid got talent. For example, Malaysia has been known for our lab in our lack or low involvement in space adventures. Maybe when a kid show great potential about space and everything, they established a space agency where they help encourage younger generation. That's for example. What are the moral values that you can learn from Singapore Dilanggar Todak? And also another one would be never let the rulers decide things for you when only when it comes to a point of absurdity. For example, if the rulers are deciding to do something that is absurd, for example, everyone go out of house naked, for example. And it is absurd lah. So, why would we follow the ruler's order? We cannot object. We are reactive to injustice. Okay?
Thank you for joining us back on podcast today. We hope you enjoy learning about Singapura Dilanggar Todak. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and remember that every story has a lesson waiting to be discovered.
So I'll see you on our next episode.
Don't laugh.
So,
Oh,